So it's always something, Linda, as you know.
Yes. Well, the beginning of the week, when there's a bunch of nitpicking little stuff that goes on that is totally worthless.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying, and you really can't do anything about it. I call you're being nibbled to death by ducks. Because ducks don't hurt. They're just annoying when they start nipping at you.
Yeah.
Big stuff you can deal with because you can find a solution or perhaps fix it. But just little nitpicking stuff just drives you out of your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We have some folks that rent from us in Roswell. We have a building in Roswell that they rent from, and they have a juice shop. You can go in there and get these healthy juice drinks. And the water heater burned up.
Oh, dear. Oh, no.
And so we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the water heater to come in and the plumber to be available to put the water heater in. And so, it's all these, like you say, it's just you're being nibbled by ducks.
Run down to Home Depot and buy a tankless and say, here.
Well, that's an interesting thing. I have done some research on that because I thought, that would be the best way to go. It's not necessarily the best way to go. You need to kind of really do some research on them. I'm not saying don't get a tankless water heater.
Right.
But just because you get a tankless water heater doesn't mean that you have instant hot water.
Yeah, you have to wait till the cold gets through the line.
Well, then what's the point
of
the tankless water heater?
Well, when I have one.
Okay.
Put it in November. Mm-hmm. Because my other one was a gas water heater. Mm-hmm. Big thing was, I think, 4 years old when I moved in.
Okay.
And I'm going on 18, so I thought, you know what? We're playing Russian roulette with this sucker because
That's true.
They normally don't get a life this long, and perhaps I should do something about this.
Yeah.
But still, it was in the basement, and it seemed like the water was coming from China anytime I had to turn it on upstairs because it took forever to get there.
Yeah.
Well, this...
Did that improve that? Did the tankless improve that?
No.
Or you still have to wait forever?
I have to wait for the cold water to get through the line before the hot water gets to there.
Yeah.
So you still have to wait till that water that's sitting in that line gets out of there.
Okay.
But
That's
you could
pretty cool.
run hot all day long and not run out, as opposed to 40 gallons and then it's getting very lukewarm.
Right. Well, in this particular application, in this location, we went with a gas water heater because where we have to put the gas water heater to have access to the gas, to access to the ventilation piping, is not near any electricity. Mm-hmm. So if we went with a tankless or an electric, then we'd have to hire an electrician to run all the electrical, to hook it all up and do all that. So that's why in this particular application, we're going
Well, then I had to put in a water purifier, too, because, well, first of all, the first time I ever took a swallow of the water at my house, I thought I was going to die. Brushed my teeth, and I thought, okay, this is it, Lord. I know I'm doomed.
Welcome to Artesia.
Yes, well, and then when we got this hooked up, and my plumber said, it turned on the faucet and let it run a couple of seconds and took a drink and says, yeah, try it. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just wait. Well, then I got brave enough to try it, and I thought, whoa.
Yeah.
This is not bad stuff.
Not bad.
I can actually drink it. Otherwise, it would have corroded everything else. So you had to get that out of there.
If you have a water heater with a tank in Artesia, New Mexico, every so often you do need to flush it out.
Yes, because
of all the sediment. Yeah.
Oh, it was unreal.
Yeah. We have an electric water heater at the house, and one time one of the elements went out. Mm-hmm. And ours is big enough that there's two elements.
Right.
And if you're handyman enough, you can kill the power.
Yourself.
Yeah, kill the power to the unit and drain the water down below the element, and then you can replace the element.
Right.
So I went to this hardware store to get the element, and they said, now you're going to need a tool, special tool to get the nut off so you can swap out the element. So I bought the tool.
Right.
Got back to the house, got to the garage, and then I looked up on the wall, hanging on a nail, covered in dust.
Is the tool. Yeah, didn't recognize it because you hadn't used it before.
Had no idea what that was there for. I didn't get rid of it, but I didn't know what it was there for. So now I have two.
Well, you could have taken one of them back.
Well, that's true, but I'd already opened the package and already, done it. And then I looked up there. Oh.
That's what that is.
That's what that is.
Son of a gun, yeah.
Yeah. But living in this part of the country with the hardness of the water we have, you have to do that.
There's so much crud in there.
Or get a whole house water softener system or purification system.
Well, this
like
one
that
I put in doesn't take salt. It's just got filters and does tricks or something. I don't know. Whatever, it tastes better.
Yeah.
So,
hey, let me ask you this. John Stossel wrote an article. It was in the Roswell Daily Record this week. Have you heard of John Stossel?
of course.
And he was having a discussion with a person who is a member of the environmentalist group Environment America. And they were talking about renewables. Now, you're recycling, clean and beautiful, all this other kind of stuff. Are you more along the lines of Stossel, or are you more along the lines of Johanna Newman, who said we have to go all renewables for our energy right now, immediately? We have to stop using fossil fuels and coal, and we need to go all renewables.
No, that's a bunch of bull. That's putting it mild. No.
Yeah.
They haven't thought beyond the end of their nose, these people that are for ending fossil fuel and all that, insanity.
Yeah.
They really haven't, yeah, on theory, on paper, maybe it sounds good. In reality, not so much.
Yeah.
You got to think a little bit further. I mean, the electric cars. Okay, what are you going to do with lithium batteries?
Yeah.
Plus, they are great at starting fires and killing people. What a concept.
Yeah. Well, but people on that side are going to say, yeah, but automobiles, you're running around with, a ticking time bomb of fuel that can explode. And that's not to say that it doesn't happen, but
that's true.
We've learned a lot.
True.
And it's pretty rare.
Yes.
For something like that to happen. And it has to be a pretty violent accident for it to happen. But then if you're in a pretty violent accident in an electric car,
you're still
potential for that to happen. And then your firefighters have to have special gear.
And they can't put the stupid thing out. It just burns.
Yeah. So,
and there's nothing you can get rid of. I mean, you can't recycle them. There's
right.
nothing you can do with it.
Right.
It's just like these wonderful giant windmills. There's nothing you can do. They have a shelf life.
That's right. That's right.
And those giant blades that you see going through town on these trucks, you can't bury them. Well, I guess you could.
That's what they do with them.
Yeah,
actually.
but you can't recycle them. There's nothing you can do with them. And the damage they do to the wildlife, birds, whatever.
Yeah.
They just don't think, yes, we have plenty of wind. Yes, wind energy is great. We've had little windmills on ranches that pump water from their wells
for hundreds of years. Yeah.
Yes. Grand idea. They were small. They were efficient. But having these and how much energy, fossil fuel, whatever, did it take to make one of these?
Right.
And the articles have always said you will never generate enough electricity to pay for what it costs to manufacture one of these. Where's the benefit?
Yeah.
Where is the benefit? If it costs that much to manufacture one, to create it.
You are totally correct. However, in the mind of the environmentalist.
Well, I know. They're very small-minded.
Cost is not relevant.
No, apparently not.
Saving the planet is what is relevant.
But if you had to use all that fossil fuel,
so you're not going to win.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I know, but you're not going to use. You're not going to win the argument with, for example, Ms. Newman.
No.
By talking about the cost benefit factor, because all they're going to come back and say is, you don't understand, Linda.
Yeah, I know.
The Earth is fragile, and we're going to kill it. It doesn't matter what it costs. We have to do this.
Well, let's say that the energy that it took to manufacture it was free. You are still using it, which is what you're trying to get rid of or away from. You're still using it to create this. Even if it was all free and you didn't have to pay for all the fossil fuel that you are using to manufacture this.
Right.
There's still no benefit because this is what you're trying to eliminate. So there you go.
Yeah. No, it's a problem. And Stossel in this article points out Germany. Mm-hmm. Germany went all in on the green, and they've turned off all their nuclear power plants. Now what is Germany having to do? They are now having to go to the Russians for fossil fuels to supplement the green grid, which is incapable under current technology of doing this. Renewables are not yet powering our utility grid is like critiquing a 2-year-old for not being able to run a marathon. This was the argument that this lady said to John. John said, a 2-year-old, I don't want to meet that kid. Renewables have been subsidized for 40 years, not 2. So it's not like we just decided 2 years ago to start doing renewables. We've been fiddling with this for a long time. There were battery-powered cars back in the early development of the automobile. Hey, we need to go to the news. Can you stick around for a little bit?
Well, sure.
All right, we'll be back, folks.